Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. The SNP need money. Lots and lots of money. Lots and lots of your money. That is why Scotland is already the highest tax part of Britain. And it's going to get worse. Taxes are going to rise. They're already looking at up to 25% increase in council tax. They're looking to introduce new, higher rates of income tax and lowering thresholds at which you pay these higher rates. Why? Because they have £1 billion black hole in their budget and they have lots of little vanity projects that they want to get on the ground and get moving. And to do that, you have to pay whether you like it or not. And taxes are going to go even higher, and it is done without even them researching how much they need, how much they're going to take, what the effects will be on the economy and on people, and whether it will even lead to viable projects being completed. There'll be no idea at all. They don't look at consequences, they only look at their immediate need. They're like children. So we're going to take a look at this article to see why the SNP cannot be trusted with an economy when they cannot even do basic research. Here goes. So, hapless Humza Yousaf scared Scots by threatening even more tax hikes before he even researched them. The First Minister has hinted at huge tax hikes for Scots, then received plaudits at the Scottish Trades Union Congress conference for backing their plans, without even researching them first. So he wants to put taxes up time and time again, higher and higher taxes. You'll be up to the point where 60% of your income goes on taxes. That's how bad it's going to get, because that's the only way he can fund what he is doing, because he has no other idea, he's got no other tools, and when the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem becomes a nail, and he is banging the same drum: tax. Hapless Humza Yousaf has been blasted after it was revealed he threatened to hike up taxes for hard-working Scots without even researching how much it would harm the economy. The First Minister used one of his public speeches to declare that he would be looking at plans to tax those earning more than $40,000 even more to plug budget gaps. Watch what happens to all those people who are earning high incomes as they move south of the border, down Mexborough way. Because he will just simply tax people out of the ability to stay there. They'll all go south, and with it their income will come south. They'll pay their lower taxes to the UK government, and he will end up with even lower tax takes. Laffer curve, anyone? I mean, he obviously hasn't heard of it, and he doesn't understand how high earning individuals can very, very easily shift their tax liability south of the border. It's quite simple. You just open up a company in England and Wales and do the work there and pay yourself through that company. It isn't hard. And that is exactly what is going to happen. Tell you now, as an accountant, it would be the easiest thing in the world to do. And people will do it. And then he'll be looking and going, but where's all the tax money gone? Well, you've taxed people out of it, and that's where it's gone. This is despite the Scottish Government already increasing taxes for Scots with wages of more than £43,662 in April. So he'd already put the tax rate up for those high earners in April, and now he's talking about raising them again. But also at this point introducing a new tax at £40,000. He boasted he would be exploring proposals from the Scottish Trade Union Congress to create a further tax band and lower the threshold for the higher tax band. Everyone earning more than $28,750 a year in Scotland already pay more income tax than those south of the border. And with the country one of the highest tax places of the UK, but ministers have hinted at even more pain for middle class families due to the £1 billion black hole in their budget. And you think it's bad now? Wait till he says, "Oh, you've all got to have these heat pumps." That's $33 billion, and he's going to tax everyone higher than ever just to close the £1 billion gap. How bad do you think it's going to get? And this is why, of course, everyone will be moving south, and certainly be moving their tax affairs south. Anyone who's got a private company just needs to open up a new company south of the border. Free tax information. If you're a company owner, you've got a limited company that's in Scotland, just open an English company. All you need is an accommodation address. You can get them easily enough. You open up an English company, and then what you do is, once a month or whatever, you pay money from your company in Scotland into the English company, and you pay your salary from the English company. You're paying less tax, you're paying your tax at a lower rate, you get your bigger thresholds, and of course none of that money then is going into the SNP's budget, and so they will be taking a smaller tax take, and that way they'll get the message. That's the way it's done. Anyway, during a speech at the Scottish Trades Union Congress in April, Mr Yousaf seemed to enjoy the applause after he said he was very keen to look at the union's proposals to introduce a new 44% tax rate for those earning above $75,000, and also lower the threshold for the higher rate to just $40,000, hiking tax above that level to 43%, because of course it's so difficult for him to work out what will happen to the money. It is a fact of life, it's a fact of mathematics, that the higher the tax threshold, the higher the tax level take is, the more that people will use their knowledge, skills, resources to avoid paying that tax. Not evade. Evade is illegal, but it's quite easy and legal to avoid paying tax. After all, if you've got an ISA, you're avoiding tax perfectly legally. But when you get a high income tax rate like that, it becomes more attractive to use those rates, and that's what happens. And these methods are used, and people move their money and make their money more cash efficient. And it is a fact that the higher the tax rate, the lower the tax take, because people get wise to it. In a low tax economy, you actually take more tax because people are less inclined to do the various methods to avoid paying the tax. If only Humza Yousaf wasn't a complete moron, he might realise that. Alas, he is a moron. And so he's going to reduce Scotland's tax take massively. He's then going to be in this position where that £1 billion black hole suddenly becomes like a £2 billion black hole, because he isn't getting anything like the amount of tax in that he thought he was getting, and he's actually going to be getting less tax than he had before. And in his little mind, he'll be going, well, that's not right. I've put taxes up. Maybe I should put them up again. There's a pattern emerging, isn't there? We can all see what's going to happen. But yeah, anyone out there with a limited company in Scotland, please God, make a limited company in England. Pay down into the limited company for services, you know, whatever, management services, call it what you will. And then pay your salary out of your English company. Pay less in tax and, you know, screw with his figures and his tiny mind. Independent analysis done on these potential changes raised fears that tens of thousands of high earners would just abandon Scotland, as the tax hike would mean sacrificing 68% of their earnings over £100,000. Wealthier income taxpayers face paying at least $4,600 a year more than anyone else in the UK, with this potentially having an impact on recruitment, leaving the country struggling for high-paid doctors or surgeons. But of course, he doesn't work this out, because that is consequences, and we say time and again, the SNP don't do consequences, do they? They don't think things through. And now the Scottish Daily Express can reveal that the First Minister had yet to even look at any analysis of the economic impact of these tweaks before making the glad-handing announcement, and his government has still yet to do this, despite taking plaudits at the time. An income tax group has been set up among politicians and other experts to discuss the potential impact of making further changes to the brackets. But this is still in the early stages, and I've told you what will happen. You will get people moving south. You will stop having people earning money in Scotland. It'll all go down. You won't attract the very people that you need to build your economy, because they're going to go, yeah, I could pay that sort of tax, or I could stay in England and pay a lot less. That's a hard decision, isn't it? Not. In addition, a group will also look at the minimum income guarantee, which would guarantee every Scot a minimum salary of $25,000 a year. If that's the case, I will move to Scotland. I'll retain my house here. I'll move to Scotland, and on $25,000 a year, I'll find somewhere cheap and rent it. Rent my home out here. and get my 25,000 a year from Scotland. That'd be excellent, wouldn't it? Scottish Tories blasted Mr Yousaf for his careless approach to public finances, which has damaged the pay packets of Scots for years. Shadow Cabinet Secretary for Finance and Local Government Liz Smith, MSP, said it should beg a belief that the SNP would consider introducing yet another income tax band, hammering middle earners without having done any assessment on its possible impact. It doesn't beg a belief. I never expect anything less than complete and utter failure to do anything, because these people are so outstandingly dim. They are dim beyond belief. Anyway, I shall round off there and I shall come up. Now, come on. Who out there in YouTube land is at all surprised that Humza Yousaf is sitting there talking about things without ever thinking them through, without ever realising consequences, without thinking, do you know, if we increase taxes, I'm not going to attract anyone to the country, especially not the people we need. We're not surprised, are we? We're not. Of course we're not. Because the man is an absolute buffoon. He knows nothing, does nothing. He's as thick as custard. Well, I hope he does announce it. But I tell you what, you can have that little bit of tax advice for free earlier if you're a company owner. It'll save you a fortune. Absolutely will. You know, a few £1,000 a year saved. Well, get your holiday, wouldn't it? For free. A holiday on the SNP. That's nice. But, yeah, just look at him and just realise that between those two ears, there's not a lot happening, is there? He really needs to be in a special school, you know, for special children. Give him the colouring books, give him the crayons, and just tell him not to keep eating the purple ones. Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see here on the channel, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and don't worry, they'll be gone soon. Bye.